Hi guys, today it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. This week's topic are your top 5 books you read because of Booktube. I absolutely love this topic. I mean, at this point, basically my whole collection is books that I read because of Booktube. Although I do have to say, since I kind of started being interested in new releases, there's definitely books that I kind of am finding myself and not just because of Booktube. But then again, I would never have started being interested in new releases if it wasn't for Booktube. So even those are all kind of because of Booktube. I have tried to come up with an actual top 5, which really wasn't easy with all of the books that I discovered through Booktube in the past almost 5 years. But I've come up with a list of books that are really important to me, and yeah, let's just get into it. My number 5 is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. Now, this has been so long since I've read this, but I think this might have been the first book ever that I read with a queer female main character in it, which is really important to me, even though back then I don't think that it was important to me. I feel like this was kind of the first book that was kind of diverse as far as sexuality goes on Booktube, which is crazy to me. I mean, at this point we're all about diversity, and you know, we still have a long way to go to get where we should be, but this was kind of, I feel like, the first book that was kind of diverse in that way. I'm just so glad that I discovered this. I really loved it, and it's just a really beautiful book. My number 4 is Never Never by Brianna Schramm. This is a retelling of Peter Pan from the perspective of Hook. This book was just one of the most beautiful books I have ever read. It just really was able to make me feel in so many ways, and I just loved it so much. I loved everything about it, and I feel like, you know, I've always been a fan of Hook retellings, but this was the first one that like 100% kind of resonated with me, and I just loved it so much. I need to reread it. It's so beautiful. It has such a great, beautiful romance, and I just didn't expect it to be that great. Like, the thing is, it was one of my like very first anticipated releases in general, but then when I actually read it, I was even more amazed by it, and I did not expect it to have this amazing romance, and it's just such a beautiful book. My number 3 is Geek Girl by Holly Smale. Now, this is very special to me because I love this whole series, and it is one of my favorite series of all time, but I know 100% that I never would have picked this book up if it wasn't for Booktube. I 100% know that if I had seen this book on the shelves, I would be like, this is such an ugly cover. Like, is this supposed to be a geek girl? Is this supposed to be funny? Like, it's stupid, but I would have been like, no, I don't like it. Like, it looks stupid. But Booktube, well, I guess especially Maddie and B just kind of talk constantly about this and how amazing it was. And that's how I ended up picking it up and loving it, and that's how I ended up reading the whole series and loving it, and it means a lot to me. I wish I had discovered this sooner. I wish I could have kind of grown up with Harriet as a character. This series means a lot to me. I feel very emotional about it, and yeah, it's just so good. If you feel the same way that I would have felt, like, this is such a good cover, is this supposed to be quirky, give it a chance, because it's beautiful. My number 2 is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Now, this obviously introduced me to the whole Shadowhunter world, including the movie and the TV show, which the TV show I found weird at the beginning, but now that I'm kind of like, okay, this is just its own separate thing, I am really enjoying, and I just really like the cast. But yeah, my reading life has just really been influenced so much by picking up this book, and I know 100% that I would not have picked this book up if it wasn't for Christine from Poland Belena's books constantly talking about it, and just so many other booktubers talking a lot about it at that point. It's just really a book and a series and a world that I just could not imagine not being part of my channel. It's kind of been there since the beginning. I'm pretty sure this is like the first book that I picked up because of Booktube, and I'm pretty sure that City of Bones is actually in my very first wrap-up, my April 2013 wrap-up. So really, this world has just been kind of on my Booktube journey the whole time, and that just feels very special to me. And yeah, I never would have picked this up. This cover, while I kind of like the covers, I know if I hadn't heard good things about it, I would not have grabbed for this cover. I would not have wanted to pick up urban fantasy because it never really sounded like my thing, and it still is not really my thing. But this series is just, it's special, and it's been really interesting to just kind of follow Cassandra Clare along her way to write a little bit more diverse. And yeah, I am just really happy that I read this book, and it spiraled me into a Shadowhunter love. And my number one will probably not come as a surprise to most of you, and that is The Archived by Victoria Schwab. Now I could go into a whole monologue as to what this book means to me and what this book started, but I don't think I need to. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know how important Victoria Schwab is to me, how much I love her books, and how much her books have influenced my life, and how this also just really kind of shaped my booktube journey. I mean, there's so many videos on my channel inspired by Victoria Schwab books, and so many videos where I talk about her books. I don't know what to say. I'm just eternally thankful for especially Jessie the reader for talking so much about The Archived and for making me discover this book and making me pick it up. I'm just so in love with everything Victoria Schwab, and I just forever will be thankful that I read The Archived and discovered this amazing author. Anyway, so these were my top 5 books that I picked up because of Booktube. Let me know some of your favorite books that you picked up because of Booktube. Some books, you know, like City of Bones, that spiraled you into this whole world, or that made you discover your favorite author. I would love to know some of your stories around these books. And thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!